Hello, good day. Welcome again to our channel, UP Math. So our lesson for today is about solving quadratic equations using quadratic formula. Now, bakit ba kailangan pa ng quadratic formula and completing the square? Meron namang factoring. Well, the answer is because not all trinomials are factorable, no? So, kapag ang trinomials natin ay hindi factorable, then quadratic formula and completing the square are alternative solutions. Kasi if for example, you are given x squared plus 3x plus 1 equals 0. O, paano natin gagamitin ng factoring dito? No? Paano natin ito ipa-factor? For us to be able to factor this, kailangan yung constant natin, which is 1, should have a factor na kapag in-add natin, will give us the middle term, which is 3. And that is not possible because the only factors of 1 or the only factor of 1 is 1, di ba? 1 times 1 lang yan eh. So pag in-add natin si 1, 2 ang lalabas, hindi lalabas ang 3 kahit anong gawin natin. So if that is the case, no, factoring is not possible, we use quadratic formula and completing the square. But supposing, no, sinabi ng teacher nyo, solve the quadratic equation using any method, o kung ang trinomial ay factorable naman, do not use quadratic formula in completing the square. Kasi masyadong complicated, no? Yung dalawang method na yon. Masyadong complicated, at the same time, mahaba. Okay? So if factoring is possible, use factoring because that's the easiest method. Pero kung sinabi ng teacher, use quadratic formula or use completing the square, then you have no choice. Kahit na pwede ang factoring, kailangan gawin nyo yung sinasabi niya. Okay? In other words, completing the square and quadratic formula can be used, no, in any trinomials. Pwede siyang gamitin. Unlike factoring. Factoring has limitations. But quadratic formula and completing the square, pwede yan kahit sa ang trinomial. Okay? By the way, before we continue, gusto ko lang shout out ang mga grade 9 students ng Lasal Sobel. I know that meron kayong assessment this coming Thursday kasi meron akong duty na schoolmate ninyo. Now, I know that you've been struggling with your math subject kasi alam ko magagaling ang mga teachers nyo dyan, mga UP graduate din. So, good luck sa inyong lahat. Kayang-kaya natin yan. Just keep watching my videos, okay? Okay, let us consider the following problem. Solve each equation using quadratic formula. We are given x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. So, as I said in my introduction, we only use quadratic formula or completing the square when factoring is not possible or when a given trinomial is not factorable. Is x squared plus 5x minus 3 factorable? Para maging factorable yan, remember that the last term must give us a factor na kapag sinubtract natin will give us the middle term, which is 5, no? But the only factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So pag ito sinubtract natin, this will give us a difference of 2. Hindi lalabas yung 5. So obviously, this is not factorable. That is why we are going to use quadratic formula. Okay? So what is the formula? X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now, by the way, before we use quadratic formula, you have to make sure that your quadratic equation is in standard form. Now, this is already in standard form, so we can now take the values of a, b, and c. So, our a is equal to 1, b is equal to 5, and c is equal to negative 3, right? All we have to do now is to substitute all these values. So we have negative of 5 plus or minus b is 5 squared minus 4a, which is 1, and then c, negative 3, over 2 times a, which is equal to 1. Well, let us simplify. So this is negative 5 plus minus square root of 5 squared is 25. Negative 4 times 1 times negative 3 is positive 12. All over 2. Okay, so this is negative 5 plus minus 25 plus 12 is 37 over 2. So what are the two solutions? We have x is equal to negative 5, isang plus, no? Square root of 37 over 2. Malagyan natin ng x sub 1 yan. That's the first solution. And then x sub 2 is equal to negative 5 saka minus square root of 37 over 2. So the two solutions are negative 5 plus square root of 37 over 2 and negative 5 minus square root of 37 over 2. By the way, just to give you an added information, no? Kapag ang solutions ay may radicals kagaya nito, meron tayong square root of 37, no? Asahan nyo ang trinomial hindi factorable. Pero kapag ang solution ay walang radicals or integers ang lumabas, then asahan nyo yung trinomial ay factorable. So, yun ang tandaan nyo. Number 2, we are given 2x squared equals 1 minus 2x. Now, notice that yung trinomial natin ay hindi pa naka-standard form, no? So, we need to transform this into standard form. So, ililipat lang naman natin yung 1 minus 2x dito sa kabilang side. So, we have 2x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. Oh, let us now take the values of a, b, and c. A is equal to 2, b is equal to 2, and c equals negative 1. Now, uulitin ko lang, no, kung bakit kailangan gawin mo ng standard form ang trinomial. Kasi kung hindi nyo gagawin to, you might end up getting the wrong values of a, b, and c. Magkakamali kayo sa sign yan. Kaya importante, naka-standard yan. Okay? So, let us now solve for x using quadratic formula. We have x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4 ac over 2a. Substituting the given values of a, b, and c, we have negative 2 plus minus square root of 2 squared minus 4 times a times c over 2 times 2. Simplifying further, we have negative 2 plus minus 2 squared is equal to 4. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 1 is positive 8 over 2 times 2 is 4. So this is now equal to negative 2 plus minus square root of 12 over 4. Now, notice that we can simplify square root of 12. What is the square root of 12? In simplest form, diba, we can rewrite 12 as 4 times 3. And 4 is a perfect square. So, lalabas ang square root ng 4, which is 2. So, magiging 2 square root of 3. So, that's how you simplify, no? So, let us substitute 2 square root of 3 to square root of 12. We have negative 2 plus minus 2 square root of 3 na, yung ating square root of 12 over 4. So, what are the two solutions? We have x of 1 is equal to negative 2 plus 2 square root of 3 over 4. And the other one is x of 2 is equal to negative 2 minus 2 square root of 3 over 4. Now, is this our final solution? No, hindi pa. Why? Kasi ito, pwede pa itong i-simplify, no? So, paano ko nalaman na ito ay pwede pa? Look at the denominator. The denominator is 4. Tapos, meron tayong 2 rito. Parehong 2. 4 is divisible by 2. So, paano natin ito i-simplify? We need to factor out 2, no? Labas natin yung 2. And then, quantity, this is negative 1. So, that 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Tapos dito, square root of 3 na lang. So that 2 times square root of 3 is 2 square root of 3. So, pinactor lang natin to, no? Nilabas natin yung GCF, which is 2. Actually, this is the reverse of distributive property, no? Kasi pag minultiply nyo yan, dinistribute nyo yan, babalik kayo dito. Okay? Over 4. And then we can cancel 2 and 4. So, ito magiging 2 na lang. So, 1 root is negative 1 plus square root of 3 over 2. So, this is our x of 1. Similarly, for x of 2, ganun din, ano? We factor out 2. So, this is negative 1 minus square root of 3 over 4. And then we can cancel 2 and 4. Magiging 2 na lang yan. So, the other root is x of 2 is equal to minus 1 minus square root of 3 over 2. And that's it. Number 3, we have 2t squared minus t equals t squared plus 3. Obviously, ang trinomial natin ay hindi pa naka-standard, no? So, let's transform this into standard form. So, ililipat lang naman natin yung t squared and 3 sa kabilang side ng equation. So, we have 2t squared minus t squared minus 3 equals 0. So, don't forget to change the sign, no? Kasi naglipat tayo. Now, we can combine 2t squared and minus t squared. So, we have t squared minus t and minus 3 na lang, right? Okay. Now, let's take the values of a, b, and c. So, our a is equal to 1, b is negative 1, and c equals negative 3. So, applying the quadratic formula, we have t is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Oh, now, t ang ginamit natin, ano? Kasi t ang variable na binigay. That's not exclusive for x. Okay, let us now substitute the values of a, b, and c. So we have negative of negative 1. Oh, now this is a common mistake, no? Remember that b is negative 1. So it should be negative of negative 1. So wag nyo i-ignore yung sign, no? So negative 1 squared minus 4. A is 1. And then c is negative 3. Extend natin yan. Over 2 times 1. Let us simplify further. We have negative of negative 1 is positive 1. So it's like multiplying negative 1 by negative 1. Plus or minus, negative 1 squared is 1. Negative 4 times 1 times negative 3 is positive 12. Over 2 times 1 is 2. So we have 1 plus minus 1 plus 12 is 13. So that is square root of 13 over 2. Of course, we can no longer simplify square root of 13, no? Kasi walang perfect square factor ang 13. So what are the two roots? Or what are the two solutions? We have t sub 1 is equal to 1 plus square root of 13 over 2. And the other one is 1 minus square root of 13 over 2. And that's it, huh? Over 2. Number 4, we have r squared minus 2r plus 5 equals 0. So, naka-standard na ang ating trinomial. Kunin na natin ang values ng a, b, and c. We have a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 2, and c is equal to 5. So, applying the quadratic formula, we have r is equal to negative of b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So if you notice, no, for each number, i-rewrite ko yung formula para gayahin nyo ko para mapamiliarize kayo. Kasi dapat memorize nyo yan. Okay, so substituting the values of A, B, and C, we have negative of negative 2 plus minus B squared. So that's negative 2 squared minus 4 times A times C A over 2 times 1. So negative of negative 2 is positive 2 plus minus negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times 1 times 5 is negative 20 over 2. So that is equal to 2 plus minus 4 minus 20 is negative 16 over 2. So this is equal to 2 plus minus. Now, what is square root of negative 16? Square root of negative 16 is an imaginary number, no? Kasi walang square root ang negative numbers. So, paano natin to isusulat? Well, square root of negative 16 can be written as 16 times negative 1, right? Now, in case you still don't know, I squared is equal to negative 1. That's the definition of I. So, substitute ko yung I squared kay negative 1, magiging 16 times I squared siya. And therefore, square root of 16I squared is 4I. In short, kapag ang radical may negative sa loob, lagyan nyo lang ng I. No? Kunin nyo yung square root, kung meron siyang square root, kung wala naman, at is na lang, and then put I sa labas ng radical sign. Okay? So, replacing square root of negative 16 by 4I, we have 2 plus minus 4I over 2. So what are the two roots? We have R sub 1 is equal to 2 plus 4I over 2. And the other one is R sub 2, 2 minus 4I over 2. Now, is this our final answer? Hindi pa, no? Why? Again, just like in number 2, mapapansin nyo, pwede natin i-cancel ang 2 and 2 and 4 and 2. So what do? Pa-factor natin yung numerator. We factor out 2 and then this is 1 and then this is 2i. Pagka distribute nyo yan, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2i is 4i. No? Pinactor lang natin. Over 2. So we can cancel 2 and 2. Ang matitira na lang ay 1 plus 2i. Oops, 1 plus 2i. Oh, similarly, for R sub 2, ganun din, factor out 2. So, this is 1 minus 2i over 2. Cancelled on 2. So, we are left with 1 minus 2i. Okay, so what are the solutions? We have 1 plus 2i and 1 minus 2i. That's it.